the bump. Here is the bump. Okay. That is the current. Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube, all about a pregnancy recap for you. It feels so long since I actually did a video on here. It kind of feels like the first video I'm doing on YouTube, so we're just gonna see how we go. Okay, we all start somewhere, and I figured what better way to start than recapping the whole pregnancy, because I'm like very close to the end now. I see a baby in sight. I'm gonna show you the bump. Here is the bump. Okay, that is a current where we're at the moment. So it does feel like that first trimester was ages ago, but now thinking back on it, whoa, was it a roller coaster. So here are the biggest recaps, the biggest crazy changes, the crazy things that happened in my first trimester. So first things first is obviously we found out that we were pregnant. And my friend kind of found out before me, for me. So at the time, me and my boyfriend were living at my mate's place. So we were her flatmates, and I'd got this bizarre rash all over my chest. And I remember one morning going in and kind of being like, hey, what is this? Like, what is this rash on my chest? I don't know what it is. And she kind of just looked and was like, girl, forget about the rash. Look at your boobs. And sure enough, my boobs were swollen and just sore and much bigger than they have been. So that is when I started to think, and I kind of put two and two together, and I'd missed a period and my boobs were tender and sore, and I was like, I'm pregnant. This was before I'd even taken a test, so I kind of knew there and then, like, oh yeah, I know what's happened. We're having a baby. So, yeah, that's how I found out. The next day is when I actually did a test, and I did one in the morning, first thing in the morning. And sure enough, that thing was just like, boom, 2 lines straight away, super dark. Like, there was no getting that one wrong. So, yeah, I took a test first thing in the morning, and poor Kane, God, like, he was probably still half asleep by the time I was telling him I was like in shock and amazed and like, whoa, what's happened? And I couldn't wait till he was even awake. So I got him up really quickly. I don't even think he was half awake before I told him. But yeah, that is how we found out. And that was like 20 weeks ago now. 30 weeks ago now. Whoa. It was a long time ago now. So that was how we found out. Then at week 6, and everyone tells you kind of start feeling, if you're going to get a bit sick, then it's probably around week 6, is when I really first started feeling like some pregnancy feels, like, oh, the body is doing something. And I got the worst morning sickness. And that was like bang on week 6, day of, like, hello, morning sickness. And I was so nauseous. Like, I feel like they need to rename it, because they call it morning sickness, but it's just 24 hours, constantly, non-stop sickness. Yeah. So yeah, I felt very, very nauseous. I was probably sick about 3 times during the whole time I had morning sickness, but every day, without a doubt, I was nauseous. And I really did try everything. I promise you, people are going to give you their tips and tricks and opinions like throughout the whole time anyway. So I knew this was going to come, and people were like giving me all their rescue remedies and do this, do that, try this, try that. But like nothing worked. Like nothing. The only thing that really worked was I found that when I was eating food my stomach was full, and when it was full, I was feeling slightly better. So I was just constantly eating or constantly snacking on like anything plain, crackers, plain chips, toast. I literally lived on toast and peanut butter for about 6 weeks. Like, it was the only thing. And I had really bad food aversion. So anything sweet, it was just made my stomach turn. And I'm such a I like to be healthy, and I've got my routine, and I always kind of stick to the same things, and all of that went out the window pretty quickly, because anything that was like, if I was using my protein powder, it was all of a sudden it was like way too sweet, and yogurt was way too sweet, and if fruit was just way too sweet. Like anything that was slightly sweet would turn my stomach, and I could smell it from a freaking mile away. Like Kane would be in the kitchen making breakfast or having yogurt on his breakfast, and I could smell it in the bathroom. My senses were like heightened, and I was so ill. So that was kind of from week 6, and it finished on week 12. Thank goodness. By week 12, I was back to feeling a little bit more like me. And I tried everything, guys. Everything. Like, if there was ginger tea, I'd have a ginger tea every morning. I'd be eating ginger cookies, nibbling on like ginger nut, whatever it was, slice, ginger shots, like anything ginger, I was giving it a go. I tried the seasick bands, and I put those on my wrists. I had alcohol pads so I could smell the alcohol pads. I was just like eating so much food just to try, like anything at all, you name it, I tried it, and just have to wade through it. So that was number 1. That was the first big like hello of the first trimester. Number 2 was, and it was probably about week 6 and 7, was really bad insomnia and hip ache. So I got it for about a week, and just one night, first off, it started with insomnia, and one night I just like couldn't sleep. I tossed and turned and tossed and turned. And then a couple of nights later, I got this insane hip ache. So then I had hip ache and I had insomnia, and it would hurt when it was like a dull, numb, like heavy ache when I was lying down. And it was a little bit better when I sat up, but not quite. So for a couple of days there, I was in the spare room, and I was literally sleeping like with my legs cuddled up, just to try and be a little bit comfortable. But yeah, that was not great fun. Mostly it just made me tired and irritable, and on top of being sick, it was just like, yeah, that just wasn't that fun. But thank goodness that just lasted a week, and after that, I went back to sleeping like a queen, because holy moly. Number 3, the third thing that happened that I was like, oh yeah, this is the thing, was my tiredness, guys. Like, whoa, next level tired. I actually made sure to go and get checked. I got my bloods done, just to make sure that my iron and things like that were okay, because I was really, really tired, to make sure that, everything was fine. And it was. So this was literally just put down to making a baby. Like, it's hard work on your body, and there's a lot going on, and you need to sleep. And I could sleep, I tell you. I was just exhausted. Like, I have never been that tired before. I promise you, I could have just fallen asleep sitting up. So those were my 3 big changes for my first trimester. Thankfully, by week 12, I was feeling myself again, and yeah, and it was another change again, and lots of different changes happened with the next trimester that came. But it's crazy to think back now on the beginning, because it does feel so long ago, but also I feel like I'm so close to meeting this little human as well, which is really exciting. And it kind of goes fast. So even though it feels so long ago, it does go so quickly as well. And And I guess everyone is going to have a different journey. Everyone's going to have, you know, little things that happen to them that didn't happen to someone else. And it's just so individual. No one is the same. So you just have to take it as it comes, and you just have to be really kind to yourself, and you have to remember that making a human is like freaking hard to do. It's like a job in itself. So while you're out there working and doing all the other things that you normally do in your day-to-day, you're also like building a human being in there, which is really hard work. So yeah, that is definitely something to remember as well. But thank you for listening. Thanks for jumping in. Short and sweet, and it was nice to recap. And yeah, I'll be back. I'll give you the second trimester and third trimester. I'm gonna do a recap on my second and my third trimester as well. They're both so different, and I also look so different. As you know, my belly is like, we got a belly now. So definitely things change and lots gets a little bit harder, but it also gets very exciting. So yeah, if you liked, make sure to let me know, subscribe, there will be more, and thank you for watching.